my name is Dan Tepper. I'm a senior advisor with Seaman Holtz, and I'm here with Eric Holtz, founder and principal of Seaman Holtz, the leader in post-retirement financial planning. Eric, can you tell us a little bit about the format of this half hour?
Format for this, we liked our shows to kind of mirror what we do in our seminars. And at our seminars, when we're talking about what we always like to show some products and strategies which make sense for people in different situations. But at the beginning, we like to cover just a little bit more about who we are, what our core philosophies are, how we work with clients, how we see retirees, and there's different situations. So we're going to kind of start with that.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Seaman Holtz.
I'm very fortunate. I was able to work with my freshman roommate in college, my partner Marshall Seaman, and I. We've known each other 30 years now. I know that because my 30-year high school reunion is coming up here this fall. So we've known each other since we're 18 years old, and we founded Seaman Holtz in 1998. Or as I like to say, since way back in the 20th century we've been in business. And we have offices across the country, but we've also enjoyed a Better Business Bureau highest rating, A+ accredited business, and we're very proud about that.
Okay, and what is comprehensive post-retirement financial planning?
Yeah, this is important. We don't try to be all things to all people. We specialize in comprehensive post-retirement financial planning. So we're not working with young business owners or people that are really focused on growth. We're really doing a lot of kind of the issues that relate to retirees, which is income planning, chronic illness planning, what we do if we get sick, and also what we call wealth transfer and legacy planning. Another thing that we do is we do manage money. We are money managers, and our clients get their money managed at Seaman Holtz Financial. It's also one of the services that we provide.
And where can people find Seaman Holtz?
We have offices across the country. We have from New York to Florida, Chicago, and here in Southern California. So you can find us on our website at www.seamanholtz.com. We have a local office to this area. It's listed on the right below the screen here. Our website, we have a very interactive website. You can order free booklets. You can order free reports. For those of you that are aware of our newspaper column, we run a newspaper column, a weekly newspaper column called Ask the Advisor. And we do focus on topics as it relates to retirees. And we run them in the Orange County Register and a couple papers in South Florida. And you can go look up all of the articles that we've ever written that are uploaded to our website as well. So we have a nice interactive website.
And explain a little how Seaman Holtz works with their clients.
Okay, because basically how we work with retirees is important. Retirees fall into different categories. There are some clients that are living off of their investments, and what we call these are financial directions. There are retirees that are actively living off of their investments to cover their expenses, and that's one big group of retirees. And the other kind of big group is when their retirees are living on a budget provided to them by their Social Security and their pension. They have no debt, live very frugally, and they're kind of living on a budget. And we find that retirees, whether you're living in California, Florida, New York, it doesn't matter, about 25 to 30% of retirees are actively living on their investments. About 70 to 75% are not. They're living on a budget of Social Security and pension. For example, if the retirees have a budget of $40,000 between Social Security and pension, that's their fixed income, that's about what they spend. If a retiree has $70,000 worth of Social Security and pension, that's what they spend. They live on that budget. They're really not touching their investments. They're just parking them. They want to know they can get their hands on them. But about 25%, they are actively taking the return and need it to pay their bills. So how we work with one group is very different than another. And even when the clients aren't living off their investments, what we'll do is we work with them a little bit differently. When we're parking money, we like to focus on 3 different other directions. Either there's yield and return, which means they want their money working for them, right? I want to keep up with inflation. I want my money working. I want it growing, and we call that yield and return. Then there's other retirees that they just want to know that they can get their hands on their money. They want liquidity. So the clients that are working on looking for that, they just want to know that their money is safe, can't lose it, and I can know I can get my hands on my money anytime I want. The third group, when they're not living off their investments, we like to call it wealth transfer legacy planning. Because those retirees say, listen, I got enough income, I have enough money, I haven't really touched my money, and I can see that this money is going to pass to my children, going to pass to charities, going to pass to my grandchildren. So now we call that wealth transfer and legacy planning.
And when it comes to the formal client service campaign, can you explain a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so we like to put every one of our clients on a formal client service campaign, and this is one of the things that I think that really separates us from the rest of financial advisors and financial service professionals in the industry, is we have this very formal, quality-intensive client service campaign where we want to get in front of our clients at least every 3 months. Every quarter we want to get in front of our clients. And it's not just to say, hey, how's it going? Okay, did your daughter's divorce get finalized? Did your son get a job? Okay, there is that social aspect to it, but we want to provide value in our client relationships. So we like to focus on different topics. Like once a year, we like to do what we call an income and expense review, where it's basically, it's not your budget. Okay, we know you can do your own budget. Our clients can do their own budget. But we like to answer the question that basically is, in the upcoming year, do you foresee changes to your income? Do you foresee changes to your expenses? And if so, do you have a plan in place? Which assets are you going to target with positions to secure that income? And so that's what we do once a year with our clients. Another topic that we do after the income expense review is what we call the contract review, where we kind of look at the big picture, which is basically all the positions that you have, okay, are they still relevant to where you are in your retirement? Because a lot of times when people are retired at their 50s and their 60s, they don't really make changes to their financial situation. And in their 70s and 80s and 90s, what they're really trying to accomplish, they're in the same exact kind of financial positions, financial situation. They never really make any changes. So we try to take a look at the big picture for clients in that situation, at least once a year. Another one of the topics that we do is what we call the chronic illness plan review, which basically once a year we like to ask the question and have it answered. If in the upcoming year you were to get sick, have a stroke, need a nursing home, need home care, anything like that, what would be your plan, right? And a lot of people have long-term care insurance. Most retirees do not, but it's not about even having that product or not. It's about really, what is the plan? What are you going to do? All right, do you know about life care facilities? Do you know about the difference between a nurse's registry and a home health care agency? So we help coordinate and make sure that all these plans are in place should somebody get sick in the upcoming year, because we find that when retirees have a plan in place, that is what provides peace of mind. Another example is, if you were to get sick, your husband and wife, if the husband passes away and now it's the widow, how does that change? Okay, are you going to move closer to your children? Do you want nothing to do with your children? All right, so all of these are the types of things that we address, and I think most people really don't think about what would happen as far as they just hope they don't get sick. That's a lot of what we find retirees' current plans are, so we like to make sure that we get a plan in place. All right, last review we do is what we call the legacy document review, which basically answers the question, if you were to pass away in the upcoming year, how do you want your money to go? And based upon that conversation, once a year, how you want your money to go, is it properly reflected in your legacy document, in your legacy documents? So every year we just like to have the question, because families change, things change. People are born, people die, people get married, people get divorced. So making sure what you want to do with your money will change over time. And when we do this review with a new client, as an example, we'll typically find that, hey, I thought about it for 10 minutes when my trust attorney drew up the documents, drew up my trust, drew up my will. I got 3 kids. I want my money to go equally to the 3 kids. Okay, but they never really take it to the next level of planning. Well, what happens if one of your children gets divorced? Do you want the money going to your in-laws? Do you want the money being protected for your grandchildren? And so we really try to proactively make sure that what you really want with your money is in your documents the correct way. And the reason we developed this client service campaign is really because these were the areas where we were finding crisis. These were the areas where we were finding mistakes, messes. So we decided we need to be more proactive with our clients to help them to develop plans. I'll give you another example. Typically inside a family, there's one spouse that's making the dominant financial decisions. The other spouse basically lets them make the financial decisions, and they work in a different part of the family. So when there's husbands and wives that are both equally making financial decisions, they don't usually last long. We call them almost divorced, okay? So typically one person is making the dominant financial situations and the other one is deferring, and invariably we find that that person ends up passing away and leaving the spouse because they have extra stress. They have 60 years more stress, and then after that, the surviving spouse is less sophisticated, has a little bit more anxiety. So making sure that everyone is on the same page is a very important goal of this client service campaign, to make sure that all the plans are in place.
So Eric, do you have a recent example of how the client service campaign works?
I'll use an example of, say, chronic illness planning, because I was just dealing with a client, a brand new client of ours, and we were having a conversation. I said, what is your current chronic illness plan? What would you if you get sick? And the guy was an engineer. He was very thoughtful, very intelligent guy. He had his plan completely worked out, and he was explaining to me how they were not going to go into independent living facility. They had looked at many of them, any assisted living. They were going to be getting their care at home, and they didn't have long-term care insurance, but they could self-insure. They could pay for the care. So it was not a financial issue. It was really just more about what their plan is. And so I was able to share a story about, this is a similar story with other clients, but it was, in this case, it was my mom. My mom is a widow, and she was living in her house, and that's where she wants to live. But I noticed over time, myself and my brother, that basically she was driving less. She didn't want to get out into traffic. She had many girlfriends that they were very social with, and they ended up not seeing each other because they were all getting older, advancing through retirement at the same time. And they really stopped seeing each other, and they were only talking on the phone. And so it really turned out that my mom ended up kind of just stuck in her house, where she was happy in her house, but she really didn't have a social existence. And then she ended up falling and breaking her pelvis. And between myself and my mom and my brother, we decided, it's time for independent living. And basically she was reborn. Okay, so she went from a situation where she had virtually no social existence for years into a situation where now it was just constantly, if I were to call her on the phone right now, she'd be out. Okay, and so therefore she hadn't really thought about that. And so as part of our planning, it allowed for that opportunity. And when I got done relating that story, the husband in this case said he had never allowed for that opportunity. He had really not thought about what happens if I'm gone, my wife ending up in this situation. So he was basically now open to a little bit more planning so that both of them would have peace of mind no matter what their situation was. Clearly we want to keep them in the home, but things are going to change and life changes. So being able to be proactive to give our clients these kinds of stories where our clients are dealing with the same issues really helps everybody have that context.
The added value that you bring to the relationship, how does Seaman Holtz get paid?
Well, it's a good question. We work with insurance products, banking products, safe money alternatives. As we mentioned, Seaman Holtz Financial is a money management. In any of the kinds of products and strategies that we do that are more the fixed and guaranteed, the banking products, insurance products, we're paid by those institutions for the product. There is no cost, okay? In the world of securities at Seaman Holtz Financial, there are no commissions on that. That is fee-based. It's not a transactional based. We are paid to manage money in a discretionary environment. So basically for the majority of our clients, it's a very clean transaction. They're paying us to manage their money. We don't have to manage our clients' money. And so therefore the majority of our kind of fixed and guaranteed products, there is no cost.
So what's next?
Well, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'll take one of these financial directions like income from the investments or parking money, and we'll show a current kind of, in today's economic environment, a product that we think fits very well depending upon what the financial situation is.
Thank you, Eric. We'll be right back.
You know Seaman Holtz as a leader in post-retirement financial planning. What you may not know is that over 70% of retirees will experience a chronic illness, and many will lose all they have saved. Worse still, many retirees are dropping their long-term care policies after getting steep rate increases. Each year, we prepare and send our clients a report that outlines the numerous options available for low-cost and no-cost long-term care protection. Call right now or visit our website to order your free report today. Welcome back, everybody, and thanks, Dan. At this point in the show, we're going to start getting into products and strategies. So as I mentioned earlier, how we work with clients, some clients need income from their investments, and some clients, they have their budget set up where they don't need any money from their investments, they're just looking to park it. So at this segment of this show, I'm going to be covering an income play for what we like in today's current economic environment. At other shows, we'll show other income plays that we like. At other shows, we'll show places where it's better to park money to get a short-term yield, keep it liquid, or longer-term yield situations or wealth transfer. So just so you understand our philosophy as it relates to clients that need income from their investments. When a client is living off their investments, we want that income to come from a safe, secure, guaranteed, tax-efficient place, okay? And preferably that it lasts for life. And the reason for that is we want it to kind of feel and mirror the effect of a pension. Right? Clients that live off Social Security, live off pension, have direct deposit into their accounts, there's a tremendous amount of peace of mind. For clients that are taking investments off of CD interest or bond interest or dividends from stocks, all of those sources are variable. They can change over time. Heck, a CD in 1980 was paying about 15%. Now it pays about 0.15%. So if you were living off your CD interest in the 80s and 90s, you can't do that now, so you're spending your principal. So it's really a philosophy of ours, and what we look for is products and strategies that are going to basically secure the income and kind of give that feel like a pension, Social Security. And one of the options that we like in today's kind of economic environment are annuities with income riders. And so I'm not saying annuities, okay, and we don't think annuities make a lot of sense for a lot of retirees, but just the ones that have these guaranteed income riders, okay? And when we're talking about annuities, what we really like to start with is why we don't like annuities for most retirees. As I mentioned earlier in the program, only about 25% of retirees, 25 to 30% are actively living off their investments, which means 70 to 75% of retirees are basically parking money, not living off of them. And a lot of times we find that clients that are parking money, they park money in annuities, right? And they park money in annuities for two reasons. One, safety, and the second one, tax deferral, and that's probably the biggest reason. If I'm not living off of it, I don't want to pay taxes on it. So now, when people park money in annuities and don't live off of them, as they advance through retirement, as they get older, their need to live off their investments less and less. Spending habits go down as you get older in retirement. People who think their spending habits go up in retirement, the spending habits, I like to refer to them as newly retired. All right? Clients that have been retired for a while, their spending habits go down. All right? And so most of you watching this, you're retired, you understand that. So if you're parking your money in an annuity for tax deferral and safety, but not ever touching it, that money's going to grow, it's going to double, it's going to triple, and you've never paid any of the income taxes on it because you haven't pulled it out. But you're not eliminating the taxes. You're basically taking those taxes and you're pushing them off to your beneficiaries who pay the taxes at their tax bracket in a future higher tax environment in the year they receive this, plus the IRAs. So they spike up to the highest tax brackets, government comes in here and scoops out a big chunk of it. And so therefore, I do a lot of reviews and I talk to a lot of clients, and a lot of times they'll just say, that's not my problem, that's my kid's problem. I don't want to pay taxes, I park my money here, I don't pay taxes, let the kids worry about that. But as a financial planner, and one of our core philosophies at Seaman Holtz, our advisors, is there are plenty of places that you can park your money, get the safety, get the tax deferral, but no taxes to your beneficiaries when you pass away. So therefore, it's just about education. But now let's go back to the annuities for clients that need income. For clients that need income from their investment, we like annuities with lifetime income guarantees. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip on my computer, and it's going to come up on the TV, and I'll be able to show you an illustration for a class of product and why we like them. All right? And so, but first I just want to mention, for an annuity has a performance, right? They're either going to have an interest rate, or they're going to be variable, they're going to go up and down in the stock market, or they're going to be equity index. And a lot of you watching out there have what we call equity index annuities, which basically is the following statement. If the stock market goes up or some index goes up, I'm going to get a portion of the growth. I'm not going to get all of the growth, I'm going to get a portion. If the stock market goes down, I don't make any money, but I don't lose any money. Okay? So that's called an equity index annuity, very popular with retirees. So over time, your account value is going to grow, okay, or not, depending upon an unknown future environment. But the performance, how the money grows, that's not why we like annuities. We like them for the income guarantees. So I'm going to show a quick illustration here of a product. Okay, as you can see on the sheet that's up on the screen right now, this is an example of an illustration how we position and educate a client about guaranteed income riders. And so this illustration is just taking a 70-year-old with $100,000. It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the dollar amount. I got to pick one to show what I'm talking about. But if you look here, why we like the guaranteed income riders on these annuities is because this client, they can immediately or begin turning on income at age 71 and have a guaranteed lifetime income rate of $6,818, okay? That's paid out monthly, direct deposit, exactly like Social Security, exactly like a pension. There's many, many companies and many products that work similar to this, but basically for this retiree, they need income to cover their expenses, and this is going to provide that guaranteed income for them. How all these products work is basically the following concept. If that retiree doesn't need to turn on the income next year, but they can wait 4, 5, 6 years, every year, if you can see here where it's being highlighted, every year that you wait, the guarantee of your income goes up, okay? So now, if she needed the income not at age 71, she needed it at age 76, now she's getting $10,373 for the rest of her life. When she triggers this income guarantee, it becomes the equivalent of a lifetime pension. No matter what the account value does, no matter what the future economic environment brings, that income can never go down. She can never outlive it if she lived to 105. Okay? So basically the reason we would like a product like this versus CDs or bonds is that you can make an argument that if you don't get enough return, that you're going to outlive your money and run out. So again, this is an example of a product and how we would be positioning it because we can have the peace of mind to know that this income is guaranteed. As well, if she were to get sick, 2 out of 6 activities of daily living, right? Home care, assisted living, nursing home, that income is going to double. So you can see here, that income doubler doesn't kick in until after the 3rd year, okay? But then on that example of if she took it at age 76, the $10,300, now that's going to double to $20,746. So we're able to build in long-term care protection to a client that needs income, okay? And when a client needs income from their investments, they most likely can't afford long-term care because it's increasing their expenses. So now we can secure their income as well as give them the long-term care benefit in there for free. There's many, many products, there's many different features, but the concept we like because we can put a pen to paper and guarantee an income stream for this client that's living off their investment. There's other products that have a guaranteed increase on the income. There's other products that have an income increase as the stock market goes up. So it's about the best fit based upon what your age is, how much income you need, and putting the right case together. At upcoming shows, we'll be talking about other income plays, products and strategies that we like to secure income as well. At also other shows down the road, we're going to be talking about liquidity, short-term yield, wealth transfer strategies as well. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week. You know Seaman Holtz as a leader in post-retirement financial planning. What you may not know is that over 70% of retirees will experience a chronic illness, and many will lose all they have saved. Worse still, many retirees are dropping their long-term care policies after getting steep rate increases. Each year, we prepare and send our clients a report that outlines the numerous options available for low-cost and no-cost long-term care protection. Call right now or visit our website to order your free report today.